Hello, this is BlueStar, Defender of Equestria. This is my AfterThoughts review of What About Discord? Alright, let's just get this one over with. Yeah, that's basically how I feel about this episode, unfortunately. My basic opinion of this episode has basically been unchanged. I still really don't like it. But I have a few more objective things to say about it this time, but I'm sure I'm gonna get all emotional at some point, so darn. But I do want to try to keep this one short because, yeah, I just don't like it. This episode is almost a binary episode. You either like it or you don't. But apparently the reviews have been all across the board from, oh, I love it, to, oh my gosh, I hate it, to, it was okay. So I'm glad that I'm not alone in not liking this episode very much. That makes me feel a lot better. And I think the reason things are so mixed is because this episode is really quite boring and it's pathetically predictable. It's almost from the very beginning, when we first see Discord and Rainbow Dash, it's almost obvious that, okay, Discord's up to something. There's something weird going on here. There's no way that Rainbow Dash and Discord should be this buddy-buddy or everything. It's like something's going on here. And they're even playing the dun-dun-dun-dun, music when Discord is like, it's like rubbing it in Twilight's face. It's like, whoa, you were there. Dun-dun-dun-dun! And it's just so obvious Discord's up to no good. And that, yeah, he's doing all of this on purpose. With, I honestly think, the intent of hurting Twilight. Maybe he was trying to teach her a lesson, but I do think that he was trying to hurt Twilight. This is why I do not like Discord. Just like I said in Three's a Crowd, Discord's an untrustworthy jerk and I don't like him one bit. And this episode doesn't even try to convince me otherwise. In fact, none of the Discord episodes have tried to convince me otherwise. He's still an untrustworthy, childish jerk. And until that changes, I'm not gonna like him. Sorry. If you like him, that's fine, but that's just the way I feel about it, and that's it. So, yeah. I've always wanted to be respectful of other people's opinions and stuff, but, it's just, I can't do it anymore. It's like sort of a thing. It's like, I can't pretend I like Discord. It's because I don't. Discord was a jerk, basically, during this episode. He just simply is doing this to hurt Twilight. And it was just simply obvious to begin with. The other big problem with this episode is that it's had all its subtlety basically stripped out of it. It's like, this episode is very blunt and direct, and the characters often will basically reveal things to the other characters that they really shouldn't be revealing. Like, Twilight is trying to convince the main six to drink this potion, and yet she just basically blurts out to them that, oh, I think you're under a spell by Discord. Here, drink this potion and break the spell. Well, if they really were under his power, that probably wouldn't be a very good thing to say. So, So yeah, so then obviously it's like, oh, when Twilight is like, trying to recreate everything, it's like, oh, so this is the way it's gonna be. We're gonna spend like half this episode just, watching Twilight and the Maid Six trying to recreate these things, and, it just, can I go home now? Is basically what I'm thinking and feeling, even when I'm watching this a second time. And it's like, and again, I just simply connect with Twilight all too well. I understand what Twilight's going through perfectly, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of this scenario of being the outsider, of not getting the joke, and which is why I'm definitely fed up with all these references, particularly to references to things I've never even remotely heard of. Like, I've never heard of this movie, What About Bob? I've never even heard of it, much less seen it, so a lot of these things are lost on me. Like, I kind of remember that painter guy, but I remember seeing him a little bit, but I don't really know anything about him, so it's like, okay, I'm supposed to know what this is, but I don't, so I don't get it, so that's no fun. I'm definitely tired of that. I mean, I do like the Back to the Future references, though. Those I actually liked. Those were funny. But, all the little shenanigans in the background don't make up for Discord's bad behavior and just how boring this episode is. But I do have to say, there was enough bad behavior to go around in this episode. I mean, like, the main six should have probably picked up on that Twilight is feeling a little disappointed and jealous about this, especially since Discord is rubbing it in her face, and so pathetically obvious of trying to rub this in Twilight's face. The main six really should have picked up on that. I do kind of like this lesson, because certainly no one is above feeling jealous or any of these things. And that is a good lesson to say, is that, it's like, the Princess of Friendship is allowed to be jealous and in a way allowed to fail because she's human, quote unquote, like everyone else, We all have feelings, we all have emotions, and sometimes, they're not necessarily the best emotions, but they're there, and to pretend that they're not there is just silly. Reminds me of this line from Fraggle Rock. I've been going about this all wrong. Some things you should be angry about. Pretending everything's alright when it isn't is just plain silly. And, of course, that is silly. So this was sort of a good lesson, but this lesson was not really taught in a particularly good way, but, yeah. I mean, one thing I kind of did like, I did like to see Sakura again. That was cool. And I really liked her honesty about her cauldron. It's like, it's just for show. I like that. That was great. And as Sasama-chan said, that I do think that Sakura gave Twilight a placebo potion. Because it's like, I think that, Sakura realizes that, what? Twilight's not going to leave unless I give her something. So here, I'll give her this jar of, juice or something. And, Twilight will be okay. I guess. I don't know. Because obviously, when Pinky takes the potion, it doesn't do anything. And besides, there's in theory no way that any potion that Sakura could make would break Discord's magic. In theory, the only thing that can do that is the elements of harmony, so there was just no way. I mean, there was lots of other little problems like that. It's like that Twilight goes to Sakura for a potion to try to break Discord's magic, but that's not gonna work, Twilight. Sorry. But ultimately, I just don't like this episode. It's no fun for me. I'm bored, and I'm really, honestly, ticked off at Discord. And I'm so ticked off, I didn't see, Starlight Glimmer in the bushes. I'd never see Starlight Glimmer. Oh, well. So Starlight Glimmer was once again observing from the shadows. All I'm gonna say is that I think this is actually gonna be important in future episodes. So that is my afterthought review of What About Discord? This is Blue Star. Stay strong and pony on. Blue Star out.